Many of us have resolutions to eat healthier in the new year. I feel like that's a resolution every year I try. But what steps are you taking to reach your 2025 fitness goals? Well, Dr. Susan Albers from the Cleveland Clinic joins us today to kind of talk about the new way to look at food that can actually help you lose weight and eat in moderation. Dr. Albers, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
She's been on the show for years and years, and this is kind of like a big deal that people are talking about. It's all over social media. She's been in the business for like 18 years at the Cleveland Clinic. So you have worked with all kinds of people, CEOs, stay-at-home moms, everybody in between.
Everybody struggles with eating.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's the most popular New Year's resolution.
It is. People make the same resolution year after year.
But why doesn't it stick?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's the approach. And this is a great approach if you're someone who wants to eat healthier this year, but you get stuck in that same diet cycle.
Yes.
And the intuitive eating approach, it's not a diet. It's an approach where you're encouraged to listen to your hunger cues and fullness cues instead of an external diet. And this helps you to have a healthier relationship to food.
Right.
It's increasing in popularity because people are tired of fad diets.
Yes.
And they don't work. They don't work.
They don't work,
No.
and it's very restrictive, and none of us can hang on to it very long. Right?
Yeah.
Like the fasting, I just get crabby. I mean, ask my family. I've tried that.
Well, research indicates that people tend to quit after 6 days. And over the course of your life,
Oh, we're on day 6. Good thing you're here today.
most people are quitting right now. So this is the perfect day to be listening. And they try 126 diets throughout the course of their life. So this is good news. This is a different approach. If you take out dieting, you have to put something else in its place, and this is a good start.
Okay, so let's talk about it. No foods are off the table.
Yes.
So in definition, what is intuitive dieting?
So to get started with intuitive eating, first and foremost, it's listening to your hunger. Before you take a bite, check in with your hunger and know what level you're at. And this is going to help you to know, do you have a snack, do you have a meal, and gauges your hunger very well. We're often eating on autopilot.
Yes.
And that's when we tend to
I get my
overeat.
lunch hour at a certain time, so I should be eating everything even though I'm not hungry. Right? I should be eating my lunchbox. Maybe don't.
If you're hungry, eat. If not, that's okay.
Yeah.
And when people step away from all the rules, it helps to lower their anxiety. One of the misconceptions, because all foods are on the table, you can eat whatever you want, is that people will eat out of control.
Right.
But this is usually not the case, because when you reduce the stress around calorie counting and obsessing about food, then it reduces the stress and you become less anxious around food.
Right. So talk about the mental health that goes along with it.
When you eat intuitively, it reduces your anxiety overall, it boosts your confidence level, and you start to trust yourself. Instead of listening to these diets that may make you very hangry,
Yeah.
you start listening to if you're hungry, if you're full, and eating mindfully.
Yeah, and I find that sometimes in a helpful way, diets can kind of guide you along the way with here's this specific food and eat it at a specific time. We're really good with schedules, but this is kind of like whenever, like how does that, is it just more relaxed?
Eat in a mindful way.
Okay.
So when you eat, just eat.
Yeah.
That's usually my motto. Instead of being distracted, we're often eating in front of the TV,
Right.
while we're scrolling, and this is when we tend to overeat. So be focused when you eat, and then also savor your food. Really taste it. We can eat an entire plate of food and not taste one single bite.
Yeah.
So when you start to slow down, be conscious of your food choices, that's when you start to eat just the right amount.
Okay, so here's some tips on your screen. Listen to your body, you had mentioned. Eliminate food rules. Talk about that.
Yes, instead of labeling foods as good or bad, food is just food.
Yeah.
Because when we use those labels and we eat that food that we've labeled as bad, then we become bad.
Right.
And it creates that shame cycle that is difficult to step out of.
So having some chocolate every once in a while is okay?
Perfectly okay. Just eat it in a mindful way.
There you go. Maybe not all 3 bars. Reflect on emotional triggers. We had talked about kind of some mental, but mental health.
75% of our eating has nothing to do with our hunger. We eat because we are bored, stressed, anxious.
Yeah.
So when you know your triggers and you are on top of them, that helps to cut down on all the mindless eating, because you know that you're eating in a mindless way because you're stressed.
Right.
And you can take care of that stress in
What
a
else
healthy
should we
way.
do? Like go run or something?
Running, relaxation,
help.
breathing exercises, giving yourself some downtime, distraction.
Yeah.
All of those things are a better match for when you're feeling stressed.
And for this specific intuition that we're talking about, intuitive eating healthy, what about seeking support? I feel like a lot of diets come with support systems and will walk you through it.
It's the
This is not.
number one tip is to gain support.
Yeah.
Whether it is a friend, a family member, research indicates this is the number one way to make those habits stick. You can also reach out to a counselor as
Yeah.
well. There's a great book, that's the Intuitive Eating Workbook. They can give you some tips. My website, eatingmindfully.com, gives a lot of insight into mindful eating, intuitive eating that can get people started.
What's the name of your book?
My book is Eating Mindfully.
Go pick it up.
And they're very similar, eating mindfully and intuitive eating, because they're both based on this awareness, being conscious of what you're eating.
Okay, and you always want to try new things, so you might as well just do it. Don't disregard this interview. I want you to try it, email us back. All the tips on how to practice intuitive eating for the new year is on our website, fox8.com, and you can check out her book as well. Thank you, Dr. Albers.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Thanks.